Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing great. So with me today is the Nokia G21, which was recently launched a couple of months back. Now this is the Nordic blue. Of course it comes with another color, the dusk, but this time I decided to go with the blue one because it simply looks nicer. Now as you can see that the Nokia G21 seems to be slightly different than the previous offerings of HMD Global in terms of packaging, in terms of the design, in terms of the choice of the chipset. So there's a lot of restructuring going on with the HMD Global at the moment. We're not going to talk much about that and just concentrate on the Nokia G21 here. So this is just going to be a brief unboxing of the Nokia G21, and I'm just going to show you a rough comparison between the Nokia G21 and the Nokia 5.4 and the Nokia 5.3, which this device is meant to replace. So we have here a square box-like packaging, which is certainly something new. Now, something which is quite odd here is that the display of the Nokia G21 itself, it is showing 2022. Now, traditionally, all Nokia devices, they have a display of the series here instead, where the time is shown. So I'm not really sure if the 2022 here refers to the year, because this can't be the only device that is going to be launched by HMD Global this year. Now on the side, you have here stated as 3 years of security updates. On the back, the new slogan, love it, trust it, and keep it. So Android 11 and beyond, one of the few highlights of this device are all mentioned here. The new and improved camera, 50 megapixel primary camera, a 2 megapixel macro, 2 megapixel depth camera. So this is a triple camera arrangement. This not having the ultra wide camera this time. Now something unique is that they are highlighting the AI imaging, so which is something new. We do have a similar setup previously with the Nokia 8.1. It does have a scene detection, which works at certain times, and at the moment after the recent update, I think the nightscape doesn't work anymore. This device also is rated to last 3 days with probably moderate usage. Supports an 18-watt fast charging capability. One of the new highlights, and is the first for any Nokia devices, is a fast refresh rate here for smoother scrolling. So we're going to dive a bit into this later on. Now you've got the fingerprint sensor on the side, similar to the Nokia 8.3 and the Nokia X20. This has 2 years of OS upgrades and 3 years of security maintenance, but do take it with a pinch of salt. The device also comes with the screen protector pre-applied. So I'm just going to do a simple unboxing here, and then we'll have a look at it. So you just slide, and this is the Nokia G21. You're just going to keep it aside. Now inside you've got a SIM ejector tool. Remove this, and they have bundled the device with a clear case, which is actually quite good because it is quite difficult to get a suitable case for the Nokia G21 here. I'm just going to put this aside. Now you've got the manual and also the warranty information. So open up this compartment, then you come here, and then you'll see this USB-C charging cable, and also this 3.5mm headset, which is something of a rarity these days. I'm just going to put that back here, and it just comes with a bundled charger, but this does not support the 18-watt charging capacity. So if you look closely here, if you could see it, it's stated as 10 watts. Now of course the Nokia G21 has the capability of fast charging up to 18 watts with a suitable charger. So I'm going to just put all this device aside, and let's just concentrate on the Nokia G21 here. So the Nokia G21 is meant to replace the 5 series, I suppose, because this is where the price, the Nokia G21 is situated at the moment. Now on the front, you can see that the device has a very similar display to the Nokia 5.3 in terms of the height. It has a front 8 megapixel camera, so you can see here the One of the speakers is on the top. Now over the rear you have this triple camera arrangement. You've got this island here which is raised a couple of millimeters from the body. I hope you can see this here. So this is slightly raised here, so you can see that it is not flush to the rest of the body. So if you were to lift your device, this is one of the pressure area, and it is definitely prone for scratches, so you want to be careful with it. So you've got this triple camera arrangement on the rear. Highlighted here is the 50 megapixel AI camera that I am very curious on how it performs. A single LED flash, Nokia branding on the center, and this device is still made in China. Now this is a textured back over the rear, which is actually quite nice. It gives you a beautiful firm grip. So I kind of like this kind of matte textured finishing over the back instead of the glossy ones where it tends to slip, and it's very slippery. So this is quite good in that sense. Now on the right hand side you do have the volume rockers, and this is the power button that also houses the fingerprint scanner. The fingerprint scanner is very responsive, which is a good thing. Now on the top you've got a single microphone, the first microphone, and a 3.5mm head jack. On the rear, the second microphone, a USB-C charging port, and a bottom firing speaker. On the left hand side of the device we've got the SIM slot and also a dedicated Google Now button. Now this is how the device looks like. It supports face unlock if you prefer that. So just gonna try. Yep, that's how face unlock works. It's very fast and responsive. Whether it is safe or not, it is for a separate discussion. Now a few things that I would like to highlight with the Nokia G21 here is that this is running on Android 11. It's not running on Android 12, unlike most devices, and it comes with the 5th of February security update. So the display is slightly warmer than the previous generations of the Nokia devices, and of course you can tweak that in the display settings. So I'm just going to show you here. Now this is one of the highlights of the device, the adaptive refresh rate. So if you were to click on it, you do have an options to go back to the standard refresh rate, which is 60 Hz, which is quite good already. Of course the benefit is a longer battery life, whereas the adaptive one lets the device itself choose when to kick in the fast refresh rate. This is probably good for gaming, and if you're into browsing multiple web pages, then of course gives you a much more smoother experience. So another cool feature that I noticed with the Nokia G21 is that the options to have a super battery saver on. Now once you kick this in, it basically turns your phone into a dumb phone, but this is crucial in case your battery is about to die and you're far from the nearest charger. So this eliminates all the unwanted things on the rear and concentrates only on text and calls. So a good way to keep you alive in case you're lost somewhere deep in the jungle. So pretty much the experience has been quite good. The processor doesn't disappoint, although the choice of the Unisoc processor is something new to us. Now the device comes with Android 1, so I've installed some of my apps here. It does come with a single third-party app, which is Netflix. So Netflix comes pre-installed, but you do have an option to uninstall them if you are not interested in it. So this is the Nokia G21. I'm just going to put this aside here, and I'm going to bring in the Nokia 5.3 and the Nokia 5.4 here, just to show you some of the highlights of the Nokia G21. Now in terms of dimension, they look about the same with the 5.3 and the G21. They have similar height, and the Nokia G21 is slightly on the chunkier side, whereas the G21 is slightly taller than the Nokia 5.4. So just going to on each of these devices to show you how the display looks like. So this is the Nokia 5.4, this is the 5.3, and this is the Nokia G21. Now just have a look at all three devices. What I'm going to do is to make sure all the devices are at the brightest setting. Alright, now off the bat they look about the same, but if you were to look closer, the display on the 5.3 and the G21 are sharper than the Nokia 5.3. So the 5.4 and the G21 has a slightly more dense screen compared to the 5.3 here, and I do feel that the depth of the black on the G21 is much deeper compared to the other two devices here, but that is for nitpicking per se. Now I'm just going to show you this web browser that I have loaded with, just to show you whether or not you can perceive the fast refresh rate. Now, one thing that I hope that you can notice is that the display on the Nokia 5.4 and the 5.3 are on the cooler side, whereas the ones on the G21, it is on the warmer side. Of course, you can tweak them in the display setting. I'm just going to scroll each of them to show you the how to say, the experience of the fast refresh rate. Hopefully you can perceive it. So all of them do scroll smoothly. But you can see that it is much more buttery on the Nokia G21 here, whereas the ones on the Nokia 5.3 and 5.4 are slightly choppier. So this is something that you will definitely perceive. So the fast refresh rate on the Nokia G21 is definitely not a gimmick. It is something you will experience, and I think for gamers out there, they will definitely appreciate this. Whether the processor could handle a high demand game is a separate topic altogether, but in general, having a fast refresh rate on a device at this price category is a good start. That means that we would see something better on a much more premium device in the future. So how does the device fare, all these three devices fare? So the Nokia G21 is definitely intended to replace the 5.3 and the 5.4 because they are priced in the similar category and their offerings are about the same. So you can see the performance here. It is quite impressive to see that the Unisoc processor T606 outperforms the Snapdragon 662 here, if I'm not mistaken, on the 5.4. Of course, the Nokia 5.3 comes with a better processor, the Snapdragon 665. So the Nokia 5.3 and the Nokia 5.4, they perform about the same in that sense. So this is just nitpicking on the hardware. Android One basically gives you a much more fluid Android experience in general, so we're not going to be talking much into that. So I do hope that you notice the differences in terms of the refresh rate on the Nokia G21 and the previous 5 series. So you're just going to concentrate a bit more on the Nokia G21 here. Now let's talk about the camera itself. So this is how the camera setting is. So you can see that it do have an option to record in Ozo audio thanks to the 2 microphones. Video resolution is unfortunately limited to Full HD on the front and the back. There's no forms of stabilization, either OIS or EIS here. You do have HDR. Now there is no scene detection, so what I'm guessing is that the AI is baked directly into the primary camera, which might not be a good thing. So I've got a few experience with the so-called AI on HMD devices. They are at times not good. Point taken is with the Nokia 8.1. The AI scene detection works at times, but most of the time the output is not natural. And with the recent update, it has sort of made the scene detection worse. So Nightscape is no longer functional as it was before this. So just talk about the G21 here for now. So as you noticed earlier, this only comes with the 3 camera setup, a 2 megapixel for depth, 2 megapixel for macro, and a primary 50 megapixel camera. Now this device does allows you to shoot in full resolution at 50 megapixel. So in a 4:3 arrangement. If you don't want, you can shoot natively, and probably this will output to 12.5 megapixel. Now you do have a portrait mode here, but this portrait mode does not have the fancy Zeiss mode, which is a bummer. Unlike the Nokia 5.4, this does not come with cinema mode either. So a few gives and takes here and there. Now you can see once you activate video recording, I hope you can see this, it shows that it's recording using Ozo audio, and you do have an option to eliminate the wind noise here by just activating this button. Pretty much only that. Now, this is just a brief exploration into what the camera has to offer. I have not done a detailed camera comparison yet. That is for another video later on, which I'll be comparing it with the other 5 series that I have in my hand. So I do hope you enjoy this brief video on the Nokia G21's comparison and what it has to offer in terms of replacing the previous 5 series of HMD Global. So I'll catch you on the next video. Do take care and stay safe.